Good morning. So, how audio powers a nation in Paris and more recently in Milan. What we're known for at Global is we are an entertainment business, 24/7, 365. That's what we do day in and day out. And we integrate advertisers into our live, original, dynamic content every day across all of our brands and across all of our platforms. Content for every audience moment, every mood, every interest. From the day-to-day to the extra special days. If it matters to them, it matters to us. It's a connection to what's happening around them. This can be contextual or cultural. In these supercharged cultural moments, such as the Olympics or this summer's World Cups, winning brands won't just sponsor these moments. They'll build ecosystems of relevance, belief, and community to keep this attention and emotional connection during these key times. Sport by Global was created as a new home for branded content partnerships with sports rights holders and brands at its core, harnessing the energy, the excitement and the entertainment for our audiences across our portfolio of social video, outdoor and of course audio.
Pulses race. Spines tingle, hairs stand on end. That's just the live event. And for sport, it's only the start. Because the experience goes even further. The stories told, moments relived, conversations that never stop.
We are absolutely buzzing to be live from Team GB House.
And no one creates experiences like Global.
Sensational to see it outside. I was actually starstruck.
Crowd-loving, phone recording, memory-making experiences.
Hey, this is Will Manning, and here I am at McLaren Racing Live.
Hi everyone, it's Lando. And it's Oscar. And this is Monster Lies with Capital.
Oh my God. Sport by Global is a new entertainment division to amplify your sport,
Absolutely buzzing.
your athletes, and your sponsorship. Helping you reach further, opening more eyes, fueling more feeds, converting more fans. From first-timers to diehards, through kitchen radios and city streets,
McLaren Racing like never before.
train platforms and TikTok feeds. Powered by the nation's biggest outdoor estate. The country's most loved radio stations.
Hi, it's live from the Team GB House in Paris. Wasn't expecting that today.
And most popular podcasts. Because sport isn't just something we watch, it's something we experience. And with Global, that experience will be bigger and brighter than ever before. Sport by Global. Take your fans further with audio, outdoor and video.
We became Team GB partners ahead of the Paris 2024 Games, seizing on the opportunity to galvanise the country to get behind the nation's most loved sports team. When sport, audio and national pride collide, you create moments that people feel part of. Our partnership mission together is to get the nation listening, to champion Team GB athletes, to inspire fans and audiences throughout the Olympic cycle, culminating in the iconic moments of the Games. Our challenge was around making a multi-sports event with fragmented audiences feel like one national moment. We recognise that there is a sport for everyone at the Olympics. It's so incredibly inspiring. And if we can do our part to shine a light on women in sport and keep female teams playing by highlighting these incredible role models, we'll have done our bit to shift a cultural dial. We understand that the potential to engage the audiences behind this iconic moment of the intergenerational games is something that really stands out. Whether or not it's boxing, rowing, etc., youth sports, skateboarding, really there is something in it for everyone. Working with Team GB, we created an ownable lane for each partner using huge scale and the nation's most loved brands. Why it worked. Repeatable principles across all of our partnerships. The first, immediacy. Audio wins in the moment. Absolutely real-time action across audio and social. Second, intimacy. Our presenters created emotional connection with these athletes and brought the buzz of the village to our audiences every day. And thirdly, continuity. Always on in the build-up, during the games and after the games, rather than one-off campaigns. To make this all come together, Global became a resident at Team GB House.
We've been live from Team GB House in Paris with NatWest, proud partners of Team GB.
And Sam, who are we talking to?
We've got Hannah Scott and Lola Anderson.
Tom Daly and Noah Williams.
Kimberly Woods.
Adam Peaty.
Tom D.
This is a bit of history right here. Olympic chocolate muffin.
Catch me, Maxie. No, don't let me go.
I was willing the German kayaker to get penalised. Is that so bad?
Let's go! You better run and hide. Maybe I know where you were last night. So I'm lighting up the sky, setting fire to your paradise.
My granddad turned the TV on and you were diving and he was like, oh, that's that Tom Daly kid. Then he turned it off. He was like, diving's boring anyway.
Another highlight of this podcast where me and Gabby explain to Max Whitlock how hard it is to do a forward roll.
Relief, surreal excitement, joy.
How are we keeping your skin and your hair looking so fine? I like a bit of classical music, especially on a long drive.
Best Olympic medal colour, gold. Woohoo!
The National Lottery came on board, and that has been the game changer.
I think it's so important to empower the next generation and encourage girls and young kids to get into sport. It affects your life in so many positive ways.
So Global is now the official audio and outdoor partner of Team GB for the next 3 years, up to and including LA28. The learnings that we take through our approach is that it isn't just watched, it's experienced. We're not about commentary, but we are about camaraderie, connection and content. We're with the players, telling their stories, getting you behind them and on the ground with the fans, bringing the buzz of chocolate muffins from the village or teabag stories from the Winter Games to our audiences, as much as the cheers, jubilations and utter excitement as Keely Hodgkinson smashes that 800. With NatWest, Quaker and Vauxhall, we brought the anticipation and excitement of our most successful Winter Games to our audiences, grabbing their attention to follow the team.
Well, this is an exciting day.
Team GB need their kit in time for the Milano Cortina 2026 Olympic Winter Games. So Vauxhall, proud partners of Team GB, have honestly picked 2 of Britain's finest winter athletes for the job.
Kitting out day, what does it entail?
So we were here this morning at 8 a.m. and we've come into here, we've had our own personal shopper, which is like a new experience for me.
Oh my God.
Hey everyone, what's happening? It's Mark Ryan, Ollie Murs. We are here in Milan.
Yes, that's right, the Team GB celebration party with Heart and NatWest.
How exciting a day is the day you get kicked?
Christmas wishes it was this day.
Whoa! Happy Kitmas!
It was thrilling and absolutely brilliant. Oh my God, I absolutely loved that.
The next Olympics isn't a moment, it's a multi-year narrative towards 2028. We will see the rise of athletes as creators, always-on fandom, and multi-platform rights fragmentation. This is literally going to be the fusion of sport and entertainment like never before. Their plans in America are off the scale. Who could have missed the closing ceremony of Paris? Just giving you a tease into how big their plans are. Snoop Dogg turning up everywhere in Paris and then more recently on the snow. Huge Hollywood names meet the stars of the games. Music soundtracks to blow you away. We are excited to be forging plans now to support Team GB. And if you are a partner, come and talk to us. But if you want to borrow the buzz, be aware we're going big. Our learnings from Team GB have also just been transferred into our approach around F1. The future of fandom across all sports and its value to advertisers is about being connected and continuous. It's opt-in behaviour, not passive consumption. They want always on. We've invested into Formula One ourselves with the launch of our fantastic new podcast, Up to Speed. Don't take my word for it.
Hi, I'm David Coulthard, and we are Up to Speed, and we very much hope you're enjoying your conference.
Now, my favourite thing about the podcast so far is not only getting to have a proper opinion about everything going on in Formula One, but getting to hang out with these three.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. Working with Global has been nothing short than an absolute joy. From the radio shows to the billboards, great other talent, and the Brit Awards. It's been great.
Well, as Will mentioned, we are a great bunch and we really want to collaborate with brands who love sport and love entertainment. Come on board with us.
So great. I'm now going to continue the conversation with Simon and Tim.
Thank you, Lucy. So I'm Sam River. You probably know me. I do Sunday Brunch on Channel 4 on a Sunday morning, but I also host Saturday morning on Gold. And outside of that, then I'm a huge sports fan. Anything. I mean, football, my main sport. Tim sitting next to me is a Tottenham fan. Poor Tim. I'm a Liverpool fan. Poor me this season, to be honest. But I'm obsessed with sport in general. And as Lucy's just alluded to there, sport is so integrated within our culture, within our society, that almost our lives are punctuated by sports and events. Even if you're not a sports fan, then it touches you because you can't help it. It's in the news. Any kind of big event happens. And of course, one of the things that is massive is, of course, Team GB. Yeah. And I was saying to you before, this is Tim Ellerton, by the way. I know we did get an intro who was commercial officer for Team GB. I was saying to you before, Tim, that it almost feels that since the 2012 Olympics, it never goes away. We have this interest, this brand of Team GB has become so integrated in our society.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's we are an elite sports organisation. I don't represent elite athletes, you'll be pleased to hear. But, that performance on the field of play has allowed us, what you describe and connecting with the whole country. Without that, it wouldn't be possible. If we weren't coming, third in the medal table in London and second in Rio, then that success wouldn't be possible. But then equally, we need our brand partnerships, and particularly people like Global, who are able to take the world of Team GB and the magic of the Olympics and connect that to the whole country. And, we're reaching whole new audiences through this association, which is incredible. We're bringing people who may not be that into sport, but we're finding an angle through, whether it's through the presenters we're working with, the stories of the athletes, which are so relatable. We always say there's an Olympian in sort of every village or town up and down the country, and there's 450 we'll take to LA with most likely, and across 20 odd sports. So the stories are so rich and the content is so powerful by telling that with people like Global and also all our partners that support us.
Was it important then to have a partnership with Global, for example, where you knew that they could deliver what you needed? Because at the end of the day, the partnership with Global is so much more than the actual sport itself. It's about the personalities, it's about the individuals.
Yeah, I mean, our marketing budgets, that is in my remit, I guess, are quite small because we're a performance-based organisation, so we will always prioritise the welfare of the team, whether that's getting them in the right hotels, the training facilities, etc. So we rely. Yes, there is a marketing campaigns that we do, but we rely on our partners to do a lot of the heavy lifting with us. And that's where Global, with partnerships with NatWest and various others, have been able to take that sort of our small reach and just completely expand it across the country. And not just during a games time, we always talk about the role of our partners to tell the stories of our athletes, the Team GB athletes that, we're all sitting here and they're probably doing hundreds of lengths up a swimming pool or rowing up and down the river down in Caversham. So every single day between now and the Olympic Games. And it's telling those stories as well, which is really important.
And from your point of view, Lucy, so that must be an exciting brief, though.
Yeah.
Because it's an ongoing story. So from a commercial opportunity, there are many exciting things going on. But it's a very personal thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It was such an exciting brief, and working with the likes of NatWest, the National Lottery, British Gas in the run-up to Paris, allowed us to create a lane for each of their partners. They all have a unique reason for being the partner. Eurostar, for example, we were able to really celebrate why they were partners. So for NatWest, for example, that key message that the athletes deliver so succinctly around resilience, is so important for NatWest to be associated with that, and that help and guidance that they can give everybody else, who wants to maybe, take their step and launch their own business. We were able to marry, what the athletes have done in terms of actually, these athletes have had so many lessons in not giving up. And actually, even if you say you're going to give up, like Adam Peaty, you can come back, and it's just so exciting, and we love that heartwarming, it's feel-good moments that we can really bring to the audience.
I think there's something nice to both of you, really, in the fact that the secondary partners, if you like, are almost taking a chance. You're hoping that some of the athletes become household names because of their success. And if they don't, then it doesn't matter because the story is still out there and the message is across.
I think that's true, and it's also, we're very lucky, right? If we had a bad Olympic Games and didn't get as many medals, we're still going to have amazing stories where, you know, we were talking about this earlier, you know, big football fans. If the England team don't win the World Cup, arguably they'll sort of come out the back of the airport and no one will really care. Whereas with the Olympics, there's so many stories, and that story isn't always gold. That story could be Sky Brown in Tokyo, age 13, winning a bronze medal, our youngest ever medalist. So there's many different stories going to have, and it might not even be winning a medal. It might be making the start line. Maybe they've overcome, to Lucy's point, you know, adversity around injury or mental health issue or whatever it might be, and they've made the start line and they've competed for the country, which is a huge thing.
Yeah. And I suppose the other thing that happens with that is it transcends the sport, as we've established. And that whole thing where, you know, music is an important part of any sporting event. You know, again, we were talking before about Nessun Dorma, that any football fan of our kind of age, that song immediately makes you think of kind of football and sort of hairs on the back of the neck. And obviously that having a partnership with Global, then you're almost like creating a soundtrack for those events, and they're hoping to create those memories by saying, okay, that is what actually triggers it.
Yeah, I mean, we would absolutely love to be creating kind of soundtracks. I know Universal Music, you know, I hope I haven't just shared a secret.
Keep going.
And other labels, and well, actually, obviously, you know, music is going to be huge coming out of LA, and, you know, we really massively want to be part of that, and we will be part of that. And the athletes come in and they talk to us about, you know, the music that they're listening to, you know, before you see the swimmers with their headphones on before they go and compete. And you know, I think in that clip as well, you know, some of the athletes talking about the role of Classic FM, you know, in their preparation, and just to kind of calm them and level them. And, you know, that content, when they're talking to our presenters about how they feel about music, is just absolute, like, gold content, and our audiences just absolutely love it.
Yeah, I mean, you must be aware of that. You know, you spend a lot of time with the athletes, that their own soundtrack is being created, never mind the partnership with Global.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing, you know, with Paris, you saw the clips up there. Team GB House was the moment that the athletes could really let their hair down. You know, they come off the field of play, whether it's out the pool, off the track, and they come to Team GB House. They see their families for the, you know, sometimes the first time in weeks. There's obviously a big celebration moment. If there's not, we'll commiserate and still celebrate. And Global were there with the DJs playing, concerts. We had Ella Henderson playing in Team GB House, and everyone's sort of letting their hair down, responsibly, of course. And
apart from the swimmers, I've got.
They go first.
Is it?
Yeah,
well, is it true? Have you all heard this? That the swimmers, because they're one of the first events on, that they like to, how can we put it, party?
Yeah, there's been a few moments where we've dragged people out of places they shouldn't be, but yeah, they're a great bunch. They had a hugely successful games in Paris. It's actually flipped for LA, so athletics will go first and swimming will go second.
Right.
So they're going to have to wait a bit longer for their party. But then the track and field guys might take over. But look, they're very conscientious. They're fit and healthy. But of course, that's their moment to let their hair down and enjoy a drink with us and enjoy the celebrations and bringing the world of entertainment to life. They want to come to Team GB House. They want to meet the DJs. They want to get interviewed by them. For some of them, this is their moment in the sun, right? It might be their only Olympic Games experience. It might be their only Olympic medal. Yeah. They're going to absolutely milk it, and rightly so.
I think that word entertainment is really important because obviously, yes, it's elite level sport. Yes, the sacrifices that they all make to actually get there. But it is entertainment for all of us watching, listening. Yeah. Then that's what it's about. And one of the things that has really really amused me is how Snoop Dogg has suddenly become somebody who's really important to LA 2028. Yeah. And you think, is there anybody less likely to have suddenly become almost a sporting icon?
Well,
how has this come about?
Well, the true fact is he's paid an awful lot of money by NBC, but let's pretend he wants to be there as well. He was amazing. I was in the skateboard park in Paris, and the event actually stopped. I mean, the athletes stopped. They picked their boards up. His music played, and he sort of walked down, shook their hands, high five. He went into the DJ booth, played one of his tracks, and then we carried on. That's sort of over stepping the line in terms of into the world of sport. But I think it's great as well because that is bringing a new audience and it's making it a bit fun and entertaining. Yes, of course, there's a lot on the line. You're playing for an Olympic medal, but he and others, and I think that's the amazing thing about LA. Yeah. We saw a tiny snap of it with him in both Paris and Milan. There will be 50, 60, 70, there'll be hundreds of the great and the good of the world of entertainment, film, radio, everything will come together in LA and really make this the biggest event. I think of, and I'll say it quietly because obviously a lot of London 2012 fans, including myself, potentially the biggest Olympic Games ever.
Yeah. But things like Snoop Dogg, that must be absolutely magnificent. Someone like, okay, well, if that's going to work, then you sort of think close to home, that links between Team GB and musicians, artists, whatever. That must be a great opportunity to exploit.
Yeah, I mean, even with Ella Henderson, we asked her, pretty last minute if she'd come to Team GB House and on the night of the opening games, and and she jumped at it, and the same with our presenters as well, like Mark Wright, Ollie Murs, they love their football, they absolutely love their sport, and it's the same, as 1D, as well, they love their sport. Harry Styles, he's an incredible runner, isn't he, and when we chat to them about it, again, that is where we bring sport and entertainment together.
Do they almost lead the charge then? So say, for example, on the leader, from Global's perspective, you sort of go, right, okay, obviously this partnership is a fantastic partnership with Team GB, but if you can, at the front end of it, get the likes of Harry Styles and Ollie Murs, whoever, Simon Rimmer, get those kind of people involved, then it whets the appetite.
Yeah.
Because I think the lovely thing about radio, in the short time I've been working on radio, I feel that it's a far more intimate medium than TV, because maybe you have to pay attention more.
Yeah.
There isn't a visual to go with it, so therefore you can get people, literally prick your ears up.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it is a really exciting opportunity. It's that immediacy, it's that attention, it just grabs that attention and it stays with you, and I think that's a really exciting opportunity for advertisers really as well.
Is there anything in particular that you're very excited by at this stage then, Tim?
Yeah, I think, well, look, we just come off the back of our most successful Winter Games ever.
Which was fantastic.
Which was amazing. And
is it just me, or did it feel like the Great British Public engaged with those Winter Olympics more than ever before?
No, it wasn't just you. I think that's for sure, and the stats back that up. And I think the time zone really helped us. The last two Winter Games have been in sort of +8 time zone, whereas only an hour away in Milan and Cortina really helped. And also success. Again, I go back to the original point I made a few minutes ago around success on the, it's not the field of play, is it? The mountain of play. Makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And then we've got this, this monster that is LA. It's logistically extremely complicated. It's so vastly spread out. Anyone who spent time in LA, you probably spent most of your time sitting in the back of a car. So we're going to have to kind of work around how we get athletes from A to B. We've got our preparation camp, which is at a university a few hours outside LA. So all the athletes will come through there before on arrival. They'll do some training there and prepare, as the title suggests, to get into the madness of the Olympic Village, which is at the UCLA university campus. And then they'll go into this mad world of the game starting. And we are currently looking for our venue for Team GB House, so we're narrowing that down. And again, we're potentially looking around Santa Monica. We want the athletes to come down and experience a different side of LA and enjoy the beach and enjoy all that after they've performed, hopefully with medals around their neck. And that's when our partnership with Global will truly come to life, and our other partners that will work with them to bring the stories back here to the public, because a lot of these events the finals will be at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So, people wake up and we might have gone to bed with not won nothing. We wake up with 4 medals, hopefully. So telling that story and how we use the time zone to our advantage, a lot of people complain about it. I actually see it as a really good opportunity to really own that narrative. It's going to be really exciting.
Because, I mean, LA, I've been to LA quite a few times, and it is magnificent. You mentioned Santa Monica, you think, what a great thing to do. And again, that partnership makes sense, that music, that whole kind of vibe that you can get. So how far ahead, Lucy, are plans for actual stuff happening in LA with Global?
Yeah, we're working closely with Team GB to make that happen, yeah. So, yeah, we're literally discussing what works for them, which is obviously predominantly for the athletes as well and their friends and family, and that's got to come first, absolutely, and then we will seize that opportunity.
Yeah. So in summary then, has the partnership been more successful than you thought then, Tim?
Yeah, absolutely, and Global came on quite late. We sort of, the excuse me, the year of the Paris Olympics in sort of January time, and we did so much in such a short period of time, and then to have them on board, not just on the journey to LA, but included in Milan as well, because quite often, to your point earlier, the Winter Olympics doesn't get as much coverage, but they got fully behind that. We had an amazing event out in Milan. We brought the Heart DJs over, Mark and Ollie. We had a load of ex-Olympians, well, you're always an Olympian, retired Olympians, I should say, and a number of current athletes are there as well. And now we look forward to LA, and it's surpassed all our, hopefully I'll speak on behalf of us both, our ambition on that front. And I think what's also really key, and so I'll leave you on this, is that we continue to tell that story, not just in the 2-3 weeks of the games, but in the build-up and the run-up to, and also after, and the celebration that hopefully, fingers crossed, comes with it.
Brilliant. And also, finally, Lucy, Global have really embraced sport. It's had this big launch sport. So this coming up, I mean, by the time it's in, everything will be kind of honed, will be sharp, etc., etc. So again, that partnership, I mean, it just gives you such great opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, sport and entertainment, we know where we stand. We're about the stories, of the athletes. We're not about the commentary.
Yeah.
At this point.
Brilliant. Well, listen,
thank you.
Tim, Lucy, thank you very much.
You.
And brilliant partnership, and good luck with it all. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, to Tim and Lucy. Thank you.